What is going on, everyone? Trust the Buzz here. If you are new to the channel, I make Charlotte Hornets content. So if that interests you, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. If you cannot tell by the thumbnail title of this video, in today's video, we're going to be talking about my predictions for the Charlotte Hornets. So I guess, as you can see here, we have the regular season standings for the 2024-2025 season. Of course, Boston and New York at the top as they played last night. But we're going to be looking at every team because yesterday I had a video where I was kind of briefly giving a preview into this, and I forgot the book. So I just want to make sure I don't forget anybody when doing this. But yeah, I think without fully giving it away, I think the Hornets have a good chance to end up in this 6th seed. Will it be easy? No. Will they need luck? Yes. Will everything need to go right? Also, yes. But that is probably their ceiling right now, the second. I think we first need to discuss who will that top 5 or top 6 be. And then we can go from there. I think that puts a better outlook on things. So, of course, Boston probably going to remain here for the rest of the season at number 1. They looked crazy last night, shooting 61 threes, which that looked like kind of the type of ball Charles Lee wants to play. Now, will we have the efficiency to match that? Because that's one thing. You could take them, but you got to make them. We saw the Rockets in a pivotal, game 6, I believe. They couldn't make them, and then they ended up losing that series a few years ago with James Harden. So, Boston, I think they're going to remain here. If they don't, it's strictly because they probably are coasting at some point, but it doesn't seem as though that's in their mentality, especially with Coach Joe Mazzulla. And then I think Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown both still feel like they have something to prove because a lot of people feel as though the Celtics didn't face the best competition when it came to trying to make the final. So that's a little motive to go for a championship number 2 and go back to back. The Knicks, I don't think they'll be at 2 per se, and not because of last night's performance. I mean, they played a pretty decent game. There's a new team. They're trying to figure things out. I just don't think they'll end up being 2. I think they have the talent to be 2, but I think it's just going to take some time to gel together, which is something I say about us. It's going to take some time for us to gel together. So I think Knicks, maybe 4, anywhere between 2 and 4. I don't see them falling 5 or 6, but anywhere between 2 and 4. But it doesn't matter. The whole point is to figure out who's going to be in the top 6. Atlanta Hawks, I don't think so. Chicago Bulls, don't think so. Nets, don't think so. Hornets, like I said, the club possibly, but let's continue to look at the other teams. Cavs, I do believe they'll be in the top 6. Where? Maybe 5 and 6, 4, 5, 6, like somewhere in this area. I do believe in Donovan Mitchell. They have Jared Allen, Evan Mobley. You do kind of want to see what you're getting from Darius Garland because last year he didn't perform at his best, but I mean, it's not that he's a bad guard. Is he better than LaMelo? No, because I know that was a conversation that was had last couple of years, really, but last couple of years, LaMelo's been out. It's crazy how quickly people forget, but I think the Cavs are a good team. It's just up to the guy who spurred us, Kenny Atkinson, to kind of gel that together. And no disrespect, Cleveland, but I hope they don't gel it together because, you know how we feel about Kenny Atkinson around here. But yeah, I do believe talent-wise, the Cavs have what it takes to be. And then re-sign Isaac Okoro. And I think they are missing Max Strus. Let's look at the roster real quick to make sure I'm not forgetting anybody. I do feel like Max Strus is hurt. But Ty Drummond has been a good player for them. Craig Porter Jr., a rookie last year, he was able to provide some decent minutes. Did not know they had JT Thor. So that's funny. But it's like, is he really going to stay? We'll see. Georges Niang is a good 3-point shooter for them. Imani Bates, I feel as though he bulked up, and that was one of the big things I said about him coming into his draft class was that he needs to bulk up as I'm taking bad shots. He has bulked up, and I think the NBA has done him wonders as far as his shot selection. It's still not there yet, but still. I will say Jalen Tyson, I think, will have some minutes for them. He's a guy that, if you're a team like the Cavs, you have to hit on these kind of guys. And I think Jalen Tyson from California is that. He's anywhere between a point guard and a 3. And he has the ability to kind of play either or smoothly. He can run the ball. He can dribble the ball for you. He can be your playmaker. He can, initiate the offense. But he also can play off ball, play on the wing, shoot threes. Like he's a really good player. And I thought this was a good hit for them considering where they are. They need to make sure they hit. Dean Wade, like I said, Isaac Okoro, Donovan Mitchell, of course, Jared Allen. Solid team. Solid team. So I do believe they'll be top 6. Detroit Pistons, no. Indiana Pacers. So based on last year, they have a solid team. They have a really good team. Tyrese Halliburton, Andrew Nembhard, Pascal Siakam, Miles Turner. They have some guys. TJ McConnell. I know I'm probably forgetting somebody. Oh, Ben Mathurin, of course. I just last year it felt like they were the team to just get hot at the right time because they did struggle against us. Remember, after the trade deadline, we beat them and they had like a players only meeting. So I think they got hot at the right time. They didn't face a good Knicks team. Like the Knicks were banged up. They played someone else and I can't remember. But either way, I think the Pacers are a team that can catch some people off guard on some nights. Like there might be a night where they beat Boston. There might be nights where they beat the Knicks. But overall, in a 7-game series, I don't believe so. But that's not the point. The whole point is where would they be regular season time? If the 6th seed isn't us or Miami, which, spoiler alert, I guess, then I think it would be someone like Indiana. They'll probably be anywhere between the 6 and 8 range. I don't think they'll be 9 and 10. Unless the East is just good, I don't think they'll be the 9-10 range. But overall, I think they'll be 6 to 6, maybe 5 to 8. Miami, I'm not the biggest believer in Miami. They have the individual talent. I said yes in yesterday's video, I do believe I like their ability to gel together because they have Jimmy Butler, they have Bam, they have Tyler, they have Eric Spoelstra, and then they have a bunch of role players, including I feel like Terry Rozier has bought into what he's going to be doing on that team. So they have a lot of guys who just know their role. Jaime Jaquez, who I forgot to mention yesterday, I think is a really good player. Even before the draft, I was like, he's a great fit for the Heat. And of course they got him. And then they got Khalil Ware, who maybe not he will probably be the Derek Lively of this year, where he may not get much burn in the beginning, but towards the end of the season, they're going to realize they need him because I think he provides a lot of what they've been looking for and what they're trying to get Bam to do, which is kind of be like this paint defender, 3-point shooter, guard perimeter on switches and stuff like that. I think he can do it. Obviously not at the same level as Bam, but I do feel like offensively shooting a 3, I think will be at a higher level than what we've seen at Bam in the past. So I think they'll find something to do with Khalil Ware there. And like I said, they have the talent based off just structure of the team. And like I said, that they do gel together. They know what it takes. I think they're going to stop coasting. I feel like they've been doing that lately. I have them at the 7 or 8 range. We'll see. But I don't think I could put them at 6. So right now, just to do a recap, we got Boston, New York, Cleveland as teams we know will be in the top 6. I can slide the Pacers in there. So that's 4. So we have 2 teams left to add. Milwaukee Bucks, I think they'll be there. You have Giannis, you have Dame. I know the rest of the roster may not be what you want it to be. You don't know what's going on with Chris Middleton as far as his health, but I think that's enough to at least get 6, to be completely honest. And then I know that they know they have to be motivated because that roster is kind of iffy and about Chris Middleton and even with Doc Rivers, you're changing coaches. So it's not like you can look for a coaching change to save you this time. I think they're going to be a team that plays hard during the regular season because they need every spot they can get. They can't afford to be 8 and then go on. Chris Middleton's not that kind of player. He might get you from 8 to 5, but he's not going to get you from 8 to 2, or you know what I mean. So I think that if they find a way to get 6 and then get Chris Middleton rolling, then I think they'll be 3 or something. But as of right now, I think that they'll probably be in the top 6. So I think I'm trying to make sure I don't forget. We got Boston, New York, Cleveland, Indiana, Milwaukee. So one more team. And then looking down here, Orlando could be. I really like Orlando just because they don't. I think Paolo's going to be a star. I think he's playing like he plays star level ball, but I don't think they operate as if they have a star. So when a game needs to be won, when you're in the crunch time, they go to Paolo. It's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But overall, this team doesn't feel as though, all right, Paolo, do what you do, save us. We don't have anybody. No, they are a team that has a lot of guys. Like there's a lot of people on this roster, but they all do something to contribute to winning. Now, wholly overpay on Jalen Suggs, but you got Franz Wagner. Mo Wagner has found his home alongside his brother. They got KCP from Denver in free agency. Wendell Carter Jr. Gogo Badazzi has found a home there. Who else? I'm missing some people. Gary Harris. They got a solid team. Cole Anthony Black, Jet Howard. I think I saw him do pretty well in the preseason. So they got guys. In fact, I want to go because they have a good solid team. It's just that it doesn't feel as like it's so top heavy. Corey Joseph, I think, is a good pick. Tristan Da Silva. I knew they picked up someone in the draft, and I couldn't think of who it was. And Jonathan Isaac, a healthy Jonathan Isaac. Tristan Da Silva is going to be huge for them because he is a guy who I is going to be like another Jaime Jaquez. He can just do a little bit of everything, and that's kind of what they need. They just have a lot of guys. They have a lot of guys that can hurt you. I personally have them. I would have them over the Pacers, even though I do feel like the Pacers may be a little more top heavy than the Orlando Magic, but they're just complete. They're one of the teams in the league that I feel like they're solid top to bottom. Obviously, the top is better than the bottom, but they have solid players everywhere. So I think they'll be 6. And I think that is my 6th team. And then 76ers is rough. It's tough. Joel Embiid is not going to play back-to-backs. How impactful that'll be, we'll see. They weren't completely horrible without Joel Embiid, but obviously you would rather have him on the floor. Paul George is coming off an injury, which he won't be playing tonight, which sucks because I think both ESPN games tonight are missing key players. But they do have Tyrese Maxey, Kelly Oubre. Who else is on there? I'm missing people. Caleb Martin, Andre Drummond, who I think is a pretty good backup for someone like Joel Embiid. So they have some guys that I believe they still have Kyle Lowry. And they have Ricky Council IV, who was a rookie last year. Yeah. Let's see, who am I? Oh, Reggie Jackson. Yeah, Kyle Lowry, KJ Martin, I think is a good pickup. Eric Gordon. So yeah, a Dembona from UCLA, Jerry McCain. So they have a solid team, but it's not like to the likes of like someone like Orlando. They can only go as far as Joel Embiid is willing to take them. I think they shouldn't. I don't think, like I said, the Bucks know that they need to play hard during the regular season because they need every spot they can get when it comes playoff time. I don't know if the 76ers know that, or else you're playing Joel Embiid on back-to-backs. I just don't think they know. Even if you're playing on half the back-to-backs, maybe like not early season back-to-backs or late season back, like choose one, but I don't know. I just don't think they understand the urgency of the situation. And that's why I would have them fall down here. So I will say they probably will be ahead of the Hornets, though. Now, I don't expect Joel to miss that many games where the Hornets can take over the 76ers. If he does, then, so be it. But I just don't see it being that bad. So now that I'm looking, I think the Hornets fall like this 8 to 10 range. But I actually don't think that 8 to 10 will be bad this year. I think that 8 to 10, you can still be a 500 team. Unlike last year, I think 8 to 10 was terrible. Let's look real quick. 8 to 10, I don't think was good last year. So, 9 to 10. So 8 to 10 was good, but 9 to 10, you easily could have got in. So I think it's going to be more. I don't think this. 76 were 7 last year, though. I didn't think about that. That's tough. Oh, because they did play the Knicks, and they almost beat the Knicks. Yeah. I don't think this 7 to 8. I don't think you're 12 games above 500 at 7 this year, and I don't think you're 10 games above 500 at 8. I don't think you're a losing record, but I do think it, because I just think everybody's better. Everybody's better or playing or got their player back or something. So I see the Hornets being, 8 to 10, but I'm not saying 8 to 10 is bad. I firmly do believe that the Hornets, my personal opinion, and I've said this in the last video, and I've said this before, a lot of it has to do with just everything changing. It's not easy to win when so much is changing, young team, getting players back. It's just a lot is in flux for the Hornets right now in a good way because we were just so poor before. I think we're all of us going in the right direction all at one time. And it's just hard to be like, oh, yeah, they're good based on talent alone or coaching alone or whatever the case may be. I think it's going to be 8 to 10. I think they'll win anywhere between 38 and 42 games. If I had to put money on it, I would say the over on 37 if healthy. And if healthy does not include Mark Williams. I know that Mark Williams will be beneficial, but I do have to understand that he is, I don't know how much time he's missing, but he is going to miss some time. So with that in account, I think we're going to win anywhere between 37 and 42 games. And like I said, if I had money on it, I would say we'll win over 37. I don't think that's a bad thing. Roster in flux, new front office, new coaching staff, new first-time head coach. Like so much is just changed. That is really just the biggest thing. And so I'm not mad at 37 games. I think unless we just do another 20-win season, I think almost regardless of the outcome, I think that we're going to have a good season. Now, good may for some people, will not be good. Good for me may not be good for other people. I just want to see us to stay somewhat healthy throughout the season, see improvement within our players, build an identity, and win some games that we should win. I feel like a big thing that has happened in the past, even when we were 43-39 or close to that the year before, there was games that we should have won that we did not win. And this year, I'm looking to win those games. Stay close to the good teams, but beat the teams you're supposed to beat. So I want some battles against Indiana. We showed that we can beat them a couple times last year. Those are games like at least split the series. Detroit, we should beat them every time. Miami, split the series. Orlando, I personally think, as good as I think Orlando is, we can split the series on them. Don't get destroyed by the 76ers again. Like that may be something I'm looking at. Toronto, it's hard to sweep any team in a series, but like we should either be one game up, split the series. Washington, beat them every time. So the Brooklyn Nets, beat them every time. Chicago Bulls, beat them every time. I think that's maybe not split the series, but maybe go up one. We shouldn't beat them every time. There's a talented team, and I do think they're probably going to play in with us, but we should be comfortable playing them. Same with the Hawks. So I've just named like 5-6 teams that we should feel comfortable playing and winning those games. Now, we're not going to win every game. It's just the NBA. But with that being said, if we're able to beat those teams to a certain degree, like even if, like I said, going 500 would be good for us. So if we're able to split the series with Hawks, Bulls, blah, blah, blah. But like I said, there's teams that we probably should beat. You take that along with maybe stealing the game from the Celtics again, maybe stealing the game from the Knicks, stealing the game from Cleveland, Bucks, even 76ers. We just talked about that. I think that's where the 37-42 wins come from. And that to me is a successful season. And then next year, I think is the year where I'm really looking for, okay, let's make the playoffs now. Okay. But overall, I don't know. I like our chances, man. 6 is high. I don't think the East is going to be as bad at the 9 and 10 spots this year. I think it's going to be a little more balanced. But 6 is high. 6 is high, but I see the path. Like I said, I like our chances with Orlando as far as in the standings. I do think they're deeper than us, but I do feel like we can hold our own. We saw that until LaMelo got hurt last year, we were holding our own against him. And I think even the game where he didn't play, we were holding our own against them. So the Magic is not just leaps and bounds better than us. I think the 76ers, once again, if it's just like take one from them. I just really see the path to where we definitely will make the play in, but at most we could be 6. I see it. We don't know what the hell it's going to be like. We don't know what's going on in Milwaukee. Everybody else, I mean, Cleveland, we stole the game from them at the end. And while they were probably coasting, you get the point. So overall, as I'm losing my light, I probably should have put my lights up. I think the Hornets have a good chance of being a pretty good team. Like I said, pretty good for me, maybe different for others, but just know that a lot of my decision is just, it's hard. It's just really hard with so much changing, so much going around. I feel like the league got better, specifically the East. It is just difficult to just kind of capture all that and all of a sudden hit the ground running when you don't have a team like Boston that's full of veterans now. The Knicks, who are full of veterans who all walks of life, who are all been on different teams, and now they come together to they have all been on somewhat successful teams at that. Even Miami, as I talked about them, they're kind of continuity, but they have all the walks of life as well. Orlando, that's just a stacked team. Like they've all gelled and grown together, which I feel like that's kind of the direction we may be going. It's just hard. It's just hard. That's all I'm saying. But overall, I do think I like the Hornets' chances.